All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back, of course, to NickTalks. So, this is actually video number 2 for the day. So look at me, I'm basically an influencer. Anyway, so while I'm kind of in this current situation, I wanted to make a video about it because it seems like it could be important, even if just for myself down the road. But I've noticed recently, based on just sudden friction in relationships and at work, and not big deals, but usually I operate very positively. I'm very kind, generous, and because of these things, I work hard. Because of these things just move very smoothly for me. I'm able to progress through relationships and promotions and job increases and opportunities very easily because I operate on what seems to be a more powerful frequency, I guess, for lack of better explanation. And so suddenly, to my surprise, I didn't really think I was making any changes to my day-to-day habits, but all of a sudden I was experiencing, in some cases, pretty severe friction where there was problems where there didn't used to be. And generally, problems only come up when you're doing something wrong. I've noticed is when, like, the only time that I have any real issues is because I caused them somehow through either inaction or negative action or both, right? So I've kind of had to reassess my mindset and where things have been at and just kind of diagnose what the issue or issues could be recently. Also, a different backdrop. The office is in use right now, so we're in the living room. Hopefully the acoustics are okay. Not that the office is great, but either way. So what I've noticed is accidentally, I have not completely, but pretty severely shifted my habits, my mindset, my thinking patterns, the media that I watch frequently, all to things that were not productive. So, in the past, especially in the last year, I've stayed focused on where I want to go and the things that I want to accomplish as the main reasons for starting this channel. And I was kind of forgetting why. I was forgetting what I was doing and where my focus was, and I was just getting wrapped up in like the drama at work, which has never been me. I was just losing focus. And so I kind of had to step back and take a look at everything and be like, okay, what am I doing differently now that could cause these changes? And then I noticed that, like, instead of watching things on business and on finance and on personal growth and on fitness, I still watch a lot of fitness stuff. That's always kind of a constant. But, I wasn't learning new ways to make myself better, and therefore I was not finding new ways to make myself better because I wasn't paying attention to that area through what I was experiencing and viewing and listening to. And therefore my mind was not there, and I was just paying attention to other things. And I noticed this cascading effect of all of a sudden, instead of improving myself, I start slacking and I start picking up old bad habits, and then in doing so I start focusing, instead of focusing inward on what I can control and what I can change through myself and ways that I can get better for myself and others, I start looking at what others are not doing. I notice things that others could be doing better and how I could do it better and how maybe I'm better than these people. My ego starts to build. Instead of being caring, now I'm almost hateful, and I'm just angry and building, just feeding into negative emotions so much. And it happened within a few weeks. All of a sudden I'm just this anger machine, just this big ball of rage, which I don't want to live there. You know what I mean? I don't want to, that's not the day-to-day experiences that I want to have. I don't want to be full of negative emotion. And I don't want to affect people with that negative emotion, which obviously it does. I can see how I feel, and this could just be a perception thing, but doesn't really matter in the long run. How I feel directly impacts the flow of reality around me. So if I'm not paying attention and I let myself get to the space, then the world around me just starts to kind of crumble, at least slightly, which is just not good. So I kind of have a duty to stay on this stuff, right? So my point here is, as I have recently learned, it is extremely important to monitor where your attention goes. Now, my partner over here has this lovely saying where attention goes, energy flows. Cool, right? So you have to be careful where you put your attention and where you put most of your attention, especially. You know, if you experience things here and there that maybe are not entirely positive, then that's okay. But it becomes a problem when that makes up most of your time. So it's similar. You hear the phrase, you are the sum of the 5 people you hang around most, which I think is absolutely true in most cases. And just like that, your mind and your mental state and clarity is the sum of the things that you experience and pay attention to and listen to and watch the most. Everything that you are taking in changes the way that your mind is shaping actively, because your mind is changing, every second of every day. So because this machine is constantly just pushing forward, when you start losing track and focusing on different things, it really snowballs into what can be, what I assume is the path that leads people to addiction, what leads people to ruining relationships and job opportunities and anything. It's just repetitive negative behaviors. And so I've heard somewhere in the past that life is really not about staying on the right track all the time. It's more about how quickly can you redirect your course back to where you're supposed to be, because you're going to lose track. You have a path that you want to go on or that you've chosen, and you're going to lose focus every once in a while. Things are going to happen. Life occurs to everyone. So you're not always going to be right on your game every time, as much as you'd like to be, as good as you are. Obviously, you want to be on your A game as much as you can, but things happen. So it's really not about staying 100% all the time. It's really about how quickly can you notice something's wrong here, and how quickly can you fix it. So it's realizing there's a problem, diagnosing what the problem is, finding a solution, acting on the solution, which it's a habit that you can build quickly, and I've actually gotten better at it. This took 3 weeks when maybe a couple of years ago it would have taken me 6 months for me to even figure out that something was wrong before I could fix my negative behaviors. And so now I can quickly work to rehabilitate that. And I think, as I've said in the past, your mind is a problem-solving machine. So if you do not feed it problems, it will create them out of seemingly nothing. So the key takeaway there is always be solving problems. Always be focused on something that you can fix, because otherwise your mind just points out things that don't really need to be fixed, that aren't really negative, but it spins them in a negative light because that's what it does, because it's bored. Your mind is this beautiful, most complicated engine that has ever been created, and it's just being wasted on TikTok and the same show you watch every single night. It's just not effective. And so then all of a sudden now you're going to start experiencing problems and negative behaviors, and you're going to lash out at people, and that's all because of where your attention was going, right? So just make sure that you, as much as you can, try and focus on what's the next solution that I can find to what I'm experiencing now. What's something that I don't like that I think I can fix? Just not focusing on the negative, but how can you change things for the better? I think that is a good way to stay focused. And even if you lose track of what your main goal is, you're still pumping forward, So even if like my goal is to achieve great wealth, and personal success as I would define it, and then lead others to do the same. And so maybe I lose track of that goal, but if I'm still solving problems in my life, it's still going to propel me towards that goal inevitably. So it's just try and keep doing the work, because as soon as you stop doing the work, then the wrong work comes to you, and you don't want to be in that position, as I am now finding out, right? And I would say that a good way to keep the work coming is to shift the goalposts every single time. So as soon as you reach your goal, find the next one. And don't just pick one, find the next one that you're excited about, that you want to work forward to, that you wake up excited to do, So I said in the past, I'm not sure if I included it in the video or not. I should really look over these videos, and I keep forgetting what's in them. Who cares? So I said that I wanted to build my workbench. It is built, and maybe we can see that in a second. And now I also have my new computer here, this beautiful HP Pavilion. Gets the job done, right? $600-700. Now I got a computer that actually works and I can do stuff on. Great. So that was my goal post. That's where I wanted to be. I wanted to get my workbench built so that I could achieve other goals on there that have been sitting on the back burner for ages. And I wanted a new computer so I could start working heavily on some other projects that I have and these videos. So I get it. I get both of those things accomplished. And then all of a sudden I'm in like kind of a tailspin. Ever since then, I think I got this computer a couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago. And ever since then, it's just been tough, because the next goal for me is buying a new car and then buying a house. These are tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollar goals. And that's difficult for me to wrap my mind around. And so I've just been like not working towards anything really, because that seems so far away. So this comes back to choose the right goal. Now, my goal is still going to be purchasing property. My goal is still going to be buying a new car, because I need one, and we need a truck as well, so we can transport things and hopefully buy a boat someday and haul that around. But I need to find a goal that is closer to me that I can appreciate. Like I've got this tiny little 30-inch TV here, and I've had a big TV in the past, and I know that it's something that really, for me personally, changes my quality of life drastically. So that's what, $1,000, depending on the size. So that's a much more achievable goal, especially splitting it with a partner. So set your sights on something that's a little closer, you know what I mean? Especially if I thought that maybe I could get away with looking forward to the car, but it's just too far away, right? It's just something that doesn't quite seem attainable, and so I'm not inspired to work towards it now. A TV, however, I'm like, I would really like that. So make sure that you're setting appropriate goals so that you stay actionable, so that you stay hungry to go get that, and it keeps you focused. So that's kind of my mini rant here. I've just noticed that it's difficult to stay on the path and keep doing the work, but you have to find ways to keep yourself focused. And I don't know that there's a prescription for everybody. Like, you just have to figure it out. I don't think there's a general thing that I can say, oh, do this activity and you will stay focused. I don't think so. I think it's like I operate differently than the next guy, and so I'm gonna have to find my ticks that are gonna help me out. So like for example, this is kind of summing it up. Big fan of Archer, the show, right? And I would watch it every day before I moved to Florida, and just passively as I do other things. It's a great background show, and I really enjoy the content anyways. I can sit and watch it, and I can listen to it in the background. I really enjoy it. And I picked it back up in the last few months, and I would watch it as I did my finances every night. And so I watch a couple episodes and then go to sleep, and then it started turning into a couple more episodes, and now it's like, instead of watching things that are going to push me to where I want to go, I was just watching Archer all the time. And if you've seen the show, you know that the main character, Archer, is extreme. He is negative in a positive light. Like, he lives very carefree, but the way that he interacts with his surroundings is by pushing negativity. Now, in a comedic sense, it's pretty funny, but I noticed that when I am watching this all the time, that negativity kind of seeps into my life. And because that was the only thing that I was experiencing, that's where my mind was starting to go. And this is not where I want it. So now it's like, okay, what do we want to focus on here? Do we want to be this guy who literally doesn't achieve anything? He just is great at one thing and doesn't progress? No, I want to be someone who can build billion-dollar businesses or more. You know what I mean? It's just, I need to change my focus. So that kind of sums it up. It's like, just watch where you're paying attention. Watch what you are experiencing, what you are, there's a word that I'm trying to find here, but can't quite get it. Be careful where your attention is, and especially where your attention is most, because that's what's going to have the biggest effect. Like if I'm watching boat videos all day instead of finances or paying attention to my projects, then I'm not really going to be, maybe by extension, because boats are expensive, I would be like, yeah, okay, I need to get a business going. But if I'm watching hardcore entrepreneur stuff on YouTube every single day and listening to videos on how to build income streams, how to learn about finance management, how to learn about real estate management and sales, then I'm going to be more inspired to go those routes. And because I'm thinking about it all the time. I have to, because I'm watching it. So that's kind of it. That's kind of all I have today. I was going to throw in another thing that I've been thinking about here, but I'll probably save it for the next one. Little caveat there. But as always, thank you guys for watching. I'll probably post this other one here and then this one afterwards, so we have a couple videos sitting in the tank here, and you can get a little bit more regular uploads. Cool. But thank you guys. Peace. Have a good one, and thanks for watching.